After 14 laps, we're back live from Richmond. Jim Keeker continues to lead. Chuck Gurney is second. You take a look at the top five, and the story right now is Tony Stewart. We take a look at Keeker. He started from the pole track record in the V6 Gene Nolan built car. There is your leader in second place in a V8, and there is Chuck Gurney. Gurney picks up a new sponsor, the Silver Oak Cellars from Napa, California, in that Valvoline car. Oh, look at that. He had to lock her up. He drove her in so high, had to lock her up. Wow. Is there a problem now with Gurney? Because here comes Stewart. Stewart in the Glenn Nibel Mobile Chevrolet entry, a V6 Chevrolet, takes you on the ride to the inside of Gurney. He goes by, and he takes second position.
Yeah, I think Gurney just got in too deep. Look at this. Gurney's thinking about going back under, but Gurney just got in too deep, got on the brakes, got way up in the gray stuff. He was lucky to keep that thing out of the fence. He got way, way high down there.
Two aspects of this racetrack. One, the banking that will hold you, and secondly, it's nice and wide. And he done that at another racetrack, he's been in the fence.
Exactly. This racetrack, the width of it does really help the race car drivers. They also run pretty high on the racetrack. Gurney's been running up in that groove most of the time, but he was on the binders and smoking the tires.
As you look back past Gurney at the black and pink 69, that is Mike Bliss. Mike was the champion 2 years ago, but he's won 5 times in 24 outings. That's incredible.
Here's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. These guys are really battling each other. That's Gene Lee Gibson in the 9 car, the 59 or the 56 car.
56 is Dave Darlin. The 9 car is Davey Hamilton.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Davey Hamilton in the 9 car, and they're saying that they're the Getz Racing team, the Petro Shopping Center, saying, hey, we are racing for Stan Fox. Whatever happens tonight, this race is for Stan Fox. And of course, that Stan's ride right there in the yellow 9. And there is Tony Elliott in the Conroy Orange 18. And of course, the blue 56 of Dave Darlin, who is a dirt track specialist. He won in this car, the Galen Fox prepared car, at the Indiana State Fairgrounds last month.
Right, he has not run very much pavement at all. As Hamilton, there we see him leading. That's Jim Mahoney, another pavement specialist, right behind him in the 2 car, the Aristocrat car. And right behind him is another dirt specialist, Kevin Doty, in the 62 car, the other yellow car in the picture.
And of course, we mentioned earlier Mahoney in the Aristocrat number 2, the black number 2, rode his Harley motorcycle almost 1,000 miles from Illinois to this race this weekend.
That was Kevin Doty. He kind of pinched Mahoney down there in 3 or 4. Mahoney got a little bit sideways to keep down underneath him. His left front got in that flat part of the racetrack, and that upset the race car.
Doty, of course, had a great season a year ago on dirt in midget competition.
Really, he's been a terrific midget driver for years and years and years. Really never had a chance to run sprint cars or Silver Crown cars or anything else until just the last couple of years. And look at the 17 car. Tice Carlson, along with the 63 car of Jack Hewitt. Those 2 guys came to the center.
Oh, contact right there between 2 cars, Tice Carlson and Davey Hamilton, and they backed out. And well, we saw that Mahoney backed out as well. Carlson, Tice lost about 3 positions right there, but you were about to say, I know he started to back the pack in the last chance race.
Right, and it looks like Hewitt is the one that came out really good on that thing. He got through the pack, got around all of those guys. And you can see that Hamilton has slowed down as well as Carlson.
Here we'll look again at what happened, Larry.
Tice Carlson's trying to get in underneath it. It looks like they just got together. Carlson just pushed the front end a little bit. Maybe Hamilton came down, but he hit the left rear with his right front. And look at Hewitt. Boy, he scooched right through the middle up, really took advantage of that. And it doesn't look like either one of them are hurt too bad. But
Hewitt had to thread the needle to get through there, though. George Snyder in the Skoll, the block 11 car. There's the 9 of Davey Hamilton, the 17 of Tice Carlson. And they're going by, I think that was Staub in the 79 car that they were passing.
Greg Staub has been, he's been fairly slow the whole race. He had to be push started. He hasn't been really competitive. I think he was the first car lap on the racetrack here today.
Well, Jim Keeker continues to lead in that number 20. That's the Gene Nolan built car. In fact, they said they were in such a rush to finish the car before the Phoenix opener that the frame was never painted. It's still not painted.
No, it doesn't need to be painted as fast as it's running out here today. He's really pulled out into half a straightaway lead. Tony Stewart in second position, though, is not losing to him right now. Tony Stewart's hanging on to about a half straightaway length second place, and Randy Tolson was still running in third. It's about another quarter of a straightaway behind him.
Well, it was interesting after the second practice session, Tony Stewart said, I think Keeker has us covered.
Well, Keeker has been fast all day long. He was fastest in practice early. He was fastest in practice late. And Tony Stewart, of course, had to change an engine. They didn't lose an engine, but they had an oil leak. They were afraid they wouldn't get the oil leak stopped. They'd get black flagged in the race. So they put a brand new engine in after the first mile lap session. They went back out. It took them a while to break the engine in, and I think maybe that was part of the problem. They didn't just get the practice some of the other guys did.
Well, there are 3 lap cars between first and second right now. Now there are only 2 as he goes by Jack Runyon. Pulls up behind the Knopfsinger in a Ford-powered Black 94.
That's third and fourth right there. The white car is Randy Tolsma. The fourth car is black car is Mike Cliff. They're running in third and fourth position. They've been running in that position most of the race, and Cliff just won't let go. He's really battling. That's Bentley Warren on the outside that they are going around.
That Bentley Warren car, the Seymour car, is the one that Kenny Schrader drove to 6 victories in this type of competition. That's an old Osborne chassis, very competitive. Bentley Warren is a heck of a race driver in the cockpit.
Well, of course, he won a couple of big races back in Indiana earlier this year, won a lot of money.
About $30,000 in a week.
That's right. Of course, boss Louis Seymour, who owns that race car. Look at this, 3 wide. Bliss on the outside. Tolman on the inside as they went around a lap car. Bliss gets around Tolman.
Now he sets his sight on the low side of Jack Runyon to put Jack a lap down, and he'll pull up on the low side. Oh, Knopfsinger comes across the nose of Bliss, and Bliss tries him over in turn 2, and you can see what happened to Tolman. He went to the outside wall. Bliss goes by the low side.
Turn 2 is a clear.
Chuck Cleary in the pits.
We talked
George
about
Tucker and the crew going to change the right rear. That's Sherry Tucker. That's George Tucker's wife working with Jack. I said, George, do you have a crew? He said, I got 2 gals, about 3 guys. You can see a couple of gals. That's Chuck's wife in the blue jeans. George's wife in the black jeans. And they're changing the right rear. This, obviously, something was wrong because this is way too early to change the right rear. Sorry?
Well, you can tell that these cars are not really prepared for pit stops like the Winston Cup cars and the Indy cars. They just don't do it very often. In this case, they had to come in and put a new right rear on. It takes a long time, and it's going to be tough for him to get going again without killing the engine.
Well, remember, he needed a push start at the beginning of the race. He went from back to back, but he got it going that time with a push from the crew, and so with the help of his wife, and oh, we got something bragging here on the 95 cars, the Rance car sparking through the corners. He may be getting black flag. We'll keep an eye on Wally Shear, the starter here at the start-finish line, but he was dropping some sparks on that car.
And of course, that's the leader, Jim Keeker, right behind him. And it looks like he's lost the serration, or he's something in the rear suspension. That thing is rubbing the bottom all the way around the racetrack.
I am very impressed now. 36 laps complete. It's been a very clean race.
It has been a very clean race. Everybody took were very cautious at the first of the race. That was very, very important, because one guy can mess up the whole race just by making a big mistake in front of everybody. Everybody was very cautious, and it was very, very good start.
So once again, we're working on lap 38. 37 laps now complete. Keeker continues to lead over Stewart, Bliss, Tolsma, and Gurney.
Back at Richmond, the problem for Chuck Cleary, not tire wear. Let's get down here and take a look at this tire. They're concerned about wear, but look at this. This is rubber buildup. There's so much rubber on the racetrack, it's built up on the tire. It actually stuck to the rubber, and it threw the tire out of balance. The problem was not wear, it was vibration. They changed the tire, he's back in good shape.
Well, Larry, is that a problem we'll likely see throughout the race?
It does happen sometimes. I've had a race car, we got to go to the fence, up in turn 4, turn 3.
The car was, looked like we were going to have a fire, perhaps not, a lot of smoke, and we can't even tell which number it is right now. And it is your defending champion of this series, Jimmy Sills, in the Gary Stanton, the Mopower car, makes hard contact. You can see the damage to the right front, but Jimmy from Placerville, California, who has a driving school out there, climbs out. He is uninjured, but a hard hit for Jimmy Sills.
He got into the fence way up in the beginning of turn 3. He hit the fence way back at the beginning of turn 3, rode it all the way through 3 and into the beginning of turn 4. He's over there kind of gathering his thoughts.
Yeah, he's collecting his thoughts and getting the cobwebs out of the brain, because he took a real hard shot. Look at this. There's Bentley Warren with a flat left rear.
Well, that could be part of the problem. Sills was running in 8th place when that happened, and he could have got over a car, or maybe Bentley ran over something that came off of his car to cause that flat left rear tire.
Well, you can see that Jimmy has taken the hat off and once again collecting his thoughts. The car badly mangled.
Look at the cars coming into the pits.
Oh,
we see
yeah.
several cars coming into the pits to take advantage of this to put on new tires.
Davey Hamilton's in. Paul Duran is in the pit area. There is Davey Hamilton in the Petro Shopping Centers. That's the Beast chassis as the crew goes to work. Most of these teams were prepared, not with all the latest technology that we, as you said, would see in NASCAR or IndyCar. Here comes Bentley Warren. But they had the extra tires, the jacks, the air wrenches if they needed them. Here is Jim Mahoney in the Johnny Vance Aristocrat car. He has made the change. He is on his way out. And obviously, with the changes this early by these cars, it may mean that we will see the leaders pit later. This may change their strategy.
Well, Gary, I think in most of the cases here, it was in fact like Bentley Warren. He had a flat tire. It looks to me like they're changing a left rear on Hamilton's car. They're changing a left rear on some of these cars. So maybe it's not that the tires are worn out, but they run over something on the racetrack is the reason they're coming in.
Paul Durant back in for a second time. A lot of drivers were saying if we make a stop under yellow, we'll change one side, we'll go back out, stay on the lead lap, come back in, and change the other rear. And there is the crew working on Durant's car. We're not sure what the problem may be, but we have completed 45 laps. We are under yellow for a wreck involving Jimmy Sills, the top 5, Keeker, Stewart, Bliss, Tolsma, and Darlin now up to 5th. We welcome you back to Richmond for this special edition of the Thunder Series with the True Value Silver Crown cars. We are under yellow. This is the reason, and you saw the work being done to the 75 car. Don't forget Sunday Night Baseball here on ESPN. The Yankees and the Indians, 7:56 Eastern Time. That's 4:56 on the West Coast. The cleanup continues after a very hard hit. Jimmy Sills was able to walk away under his own power. There is Paul Durant, a veteran of super modified competition from the West Coast. He made an earlier pit stop, went out, took one more lap, and came back in. He's out of the cockpit. He apparently is out of the race. And we're not sure if Jimmy Sills actually is in the ambulance, but he was able to climb out under his own power. And yes, he climbs out, and I think Dave Despain is right there as he walks in the hospital.
Did you get a look at him?
Yeah, we got a look at him.
He nodded and smiled when he walked by. Medical personnel didn't want to talk to him yet. I guess I can understand that. Clearly, he's okay. What they want to do is just look him over, because anytime you take that kind of a hit, you know, the adrenaline pumps you up, and you jump right back up, and you think you're okay. But he was standing up when he rode in here, climbed out, looked over, smiled, and gave me one of those, yeah, well, I got to go inside here for a minute look. So he's okay. We'll probably hang here and see if we can get a quick word on possible injury, and then head back to pit road.
Well, there is a look at the car as they almost drop it because of the banking levels off there. Heavy damage to the Stanton chassis, but once again, you saw that Jimmy was able to climb out under his own power, walked over, took his helmet off. Here is a kid that to me is very impressive. Dave Darlin, who called Galen Fox and said, could I have this ride for the Holman 100 in May? Kept calling in. Galen said, okay, fine. He was the fast qualifier, won the race, won the ride for the season. He started 15th today. He's up to 5th right now.
And he is not known to be a pavement specialist. As a matter of fact, I think this is only about the 3rd or 4th time he's ever run pavement at all. So he has done a tremendous job in that race car. He's learned very quickly, but he's one heck of a race car driver. The other guy that's also doing pretty much the same thing is the 63 car of Jack Hewitt. If we can, he started 23rd in this race, and he's already up to 7th position. As we take a look at the first 2 or 3 cars here, Jimmy Keeker, of course, leading it, and second place is Tony Stewart. There's a lap car in between them.
Well, sometimes we call these cars the dirt cars because over the years they have primarily competed on dirt. But you talk about variety and diversity. We have 3 paved tracks, Phoenix, Richmond, and of course we'll be at Raceway Park later this season. The 6 dirt tracks, the miles, the half miles, Indy, Springfield, DuQuoin, the Cal Expo, all 1 mile. Terre Haute, a flat half. Eldora, of course, a high-banked half.
Yeah, there's not much more diversity in motorsports than you run with these race cars, because they run on just about every kind of racetrack. And believe me, this racetrack here at Richmond is a tremendous addition to this. The crowd is good. The race has been great. I think we're going to see this race for a while.
Well, the second time that Davey Hamilton has been in, and they're taking their time working on the front of the car. Bob East working on the front of the car that he designed and built. As you take again a look at the top 5, 50 of 134 laps. We're coming right back. Stay with us.